Gut health and digestive enzymes is really significant in making our tummies feel good. And a lot of times these onset symptoms can be a signal to let us know that maybe we are dealing with a gallbladder issue or even pancreatitis. We're going to address those today and what are the symptoms that we can look for, what's going on with it, and how we might be able to rectify it and save ourselves a doctor's trip. Hello and welcome to Just Dandy Podcast. I'm Elizabeth, your host, owner of Dandelion Soap Herb Shop. Now, I've been getting a lot of calls and my clients are complaining about abdominal pain. This is in the upper region, underneath the chest, and swelling of the tummy, as well as some of them are associated with back pain when that cramping is really, really bad. What may be going on a lot of times when I assess them and hear what they're telling me, I'm finding out that they may actually be dealing with a gallbladder problem or pancreatitis. And these can be easily remedied. If they are not quickly remedied, then you do need to seek a medical physician and get examined, and they even run some tests. Because we want to make sure that the gallbladder duct is not blocked, and we also want to make sure that our pancreas is working properly and we're not struggling or having a difficult problem. Now, if you have the onset of these symptoms, you can recognize them right away and go ahead and strategically, be proactive and respond to those symptoms that you may be feeling or experiencing and address them immediately. If they continue and they are not being resolved really easily by some of these things I'm going to offer to you, you definitely need to seek a medical physician. Now, generally, if it's pancreatitis or even a gallbladder and there's something going on there that's just the digestive enzymes and the bile is not able to work properly because you don't have enough positive bacteria in your system to take care of it, then usually within 3 to 7 days, if your symptoms have not improved, you definitely need to seek a medical physician's advice and have them to examine you and determine and make sure that there isn't any blockage going on. But with these remedies I'm going to give you, you should see some positive results really, really quick and have a happy tummy and start feeling better. Now, let me go over those symptoms again. You may have some pressure swelling of the tummy and it becomes eradicated. This is not only the tummy but also your intestines. Some acid reflux, belching, flatulence, a lot of gas going on, and the onset of just this burning sensation and just indigestion in general, just not feeling good. The tummy just feeling really cramped. You may be nauseated and or vomiting. Now, I'm going to express this with loving care. If you are vomiting, most likely you need to get to a doctor. Don't delay, because one, vomiting is going to cause the system to dehydrate very quickly, and we do not want to compromise it anymore. If you have nausea, which is pretty common whenever our tummies don't feel good and it's saying yuck, and the cramping and the pressure that you're feeling, if it gets worse, then we know there's something else going on. We're not just dealing with acid reflux or sore tummy or indigestion or bellyache that has continued. Now, if this is just, you ate and this happened, sometimes we chalk that up to food poisoning, but it may actually be signs for our system to say, there's something more going on here and I need to address it. I want to split this up so that you understand. If you have the milder side of those symptoms, and don't get excited, but if those mild symptoms have continued after you try these regimens for more than 3 days, then you need to be concerned. If they have continued beyond 3 days, we are dealing with something that is more acute. And that's if you have actually put into play these recommendations that I'm going to offer you. If you've actually tried them and you've got no positive return, nothing has calmed down, and you are still feeling these symptoms, the first thing that people generally do is they will take some Tums or Rolaids, an antacid of some type, to try and get the stomach acids down, to calm the indigestion and get their belly to feeling better. And these are really effective if that's truly what you're dealing with. If you're dealing with acid reflux and upset tummy, that's very common. The benefit there is the calcium. It's not really truly going to rectify any positive bacteria into the body. Now, when I say positive bacteria, realize that is enzymes, digestive enzymes. Tums and Rolaids do not do that. They only make tummy area less acidic. They bring it down and make it more alkaline so that the system can catch up and aid in digesting the food. And those are large chunks of food that are having to be broken down into smaller chunks, and then when they enter from the small intestines into the large intestines, they are very small molecules and more liquefied. And that's how our colon goes to work, absorbing the nutrients and finishing the process so that our bowels can move them out of the system. So now that we've covered the mechanics of the point A to point end, we need to address, okay, Elizabeth, what did you promise me? You promised me that you were going to give me some remedies and some helpful things that I could do to make me feel better and my little tummy feeling much, much better in at least the next 3 days. The very first thing I want to offer to you is excellent not only for indigestion, acid reflux, sore tummy, or nausea. It is also really good at getting things back in order, and it also harmonizes with the pancreas, and that is dill pickle juice. Dill pickle juice, and I do not mean sweet pickles, guys. I mean actual sour dill pickle juice. Dill lends to us soothing for the system. It is a bitter, and our body recognizes it really, really quick. Good bitter helps aid in digestion. It also assists the pancreas in being able to take those enzymes, the positive enzymes in our body, and break down our food, and making sure that our insulin level stays balanced. That nutritional value that our bodies need so desperately to keep our blood sugars level at all times and keep them balanced out. So dill pickle juice can immediately, it'll break down the gases that you're having. It will take away the reflux and the heartburn and indigestion. You will also get a happy tummy, and it will speed up the digesting, as well as it tells the pancreas, hello, will you please give me some more insulin so I can digest my food? And vinegar also helps balance the pH in our body, so that lets the positive bacteria do their job. If you are dealing with gallbladder or pancreatitis, the very first thing the physician's going to ask you is, have you been consuming a lot of alcohol? Had you had an onset of consumption of alcohol? So if this is occurring after a heavy weekend of having a little bit excessive fun, this may be exactly what is happening, because what happens is when you consume a great deal of alcohol, it disturbs the positive bacteria, your enzymes in your digestive tract. And it cleanses it so much, it washes them out and dries them up, because alcohol is very, very drying. So not only is it going to affect your gallbladder, it's going to affect your pancreas. And just be aware of that. Now, I did a previous episode on gut health. And in that episode, I gave you staple foods that you can eat that have those good enzymes and positive bacteria for your body. But this is to address those further issues of where this has continued to go on and you're still not eating right, but now you're in pain and you're suffering and the complaints are larger and you've gone beyond that. You need some immediate help to remedy this problem. Okay, so here's the other part. A lot of people will say, eat yogurt. Not everyone's body agrees with yogurt. And there are more people who do not enjoy the taste of yogurt. But that is a way to get positive bacteria into the body. It is like for like. You have positive bacteria breaking down bad bacteria. And so yogurt can be really good. No, Ice cream yogurt is not the same, guys. Frozen yogurt is not the same. It's done differently. It is not the same as regular yogurt that you buy in the, cold storage area of your grocery store. Be aware of that, because I have a lot of people going, oh, that means I can have some frozen yogurt. Yes, you can have frozen yogurt, but it's not going to help with this situation. Now, what's the third thing we can do? This has no taste, is not going to interfere with any of this other stuff that you're concerned about. And you can take it. Yes, it's a capsule. It is called acidophilus. Now, I will put a link in the description box so that you can click on it. It will take you directly to acidophilus, and it contains probiotics, about 1 billion enzymes, which is like plus, plus, plus. There is a regimen you need to address when you're taking acidophilus. There is a recommended daily allowance on the bottle when you buy it. However, if you're only trying to remedy this issue that we're talking about, where your belly's getting bloated, you're having this cramping, you may even have pain in your back because this abdominal pain is pressing down and pushing against all those internal organs, and it does put pressure on the spine. So you may actually feel some pain back there, whether you're just really heavily bloated. Now, here's a good thing. Even if this is not a gallbladder or pancreatitis issue, but you keep having this bloating of the tummy and swelling of the intestines, that is something that you may want to contact me about, and we'll talk about it, and I'll get you on the right track for that. I want to stay focused on this issue at hand, because you may actually need a detox. And I've done a previous podcast about detoxifying the body. If you'd like to listen to that episode, make sure to click follow on this podcast. That way you are notified of each new episode that comes up. But that may be an episode you want to go back and listen to in order to address that. So let's move on to the other things that we can do when we are dealing with this. And you have to work all these together. This is a proactive approach. All this works together. It must connect. You can't do one and not the other. Doing the acidophilus alone is not sufficient, but it is a temporary, and it can get you to feeling better really, really quick. And usually if you take acidophilus 7 to 10 days, that's more than enough, and it will make you feel better. So you don't necessarily have to take it every single day. But I'm trying to make this more home remedy and help you as much as I can. That is my job, and I love doing it, and I love bringing you information, but we can't cover everything. What can we do food-wise? Well, the first thing the physician's going to do is they're going to put you on the BRAT diet. That is a bland diet. And BRAT stands for bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. BRAT. The BRAT diet is world famous, and I have been using this since my kids were little tiny babies. The BRAT diet is really what you need. A bland diet helps the body get caught up. It helps the system to restart and get back to where it needs to be. And it's a mild type of fasting is what it is. It's not intermediate, but it is mild. And the thing with the BRAT diet is a lot of times you will automatically do intermediate fasting, which means you're skipping meals. You actually have to work in reverse when you're doing the BRAT diet. You're starting with something like just the broth only, chicken broth, cabbage broth, just the broth. You can have crackers, and you can have toast, not bread. You must bake it in your toaster and toast it, because what that does is it breaks down and stops the yeast and neutralizes all of the fibers. So toast is easily digested by the body, and it kills off the yeast, the rising in the bread. We also can do cereal, oatmeal. Those are all good for that bland diet, and it's very soothing to the tummy. The tummy absolutely loves it. Now, the next day on the bland diet, you can still eat those same foods. You can do some applesauce. That's going to be soothing to the tummy. You also can drink apple juice, grape juice, and ginger ale. Clear liquids, water, of course. The next day you would do the more heavy. You could have the chicken soup, which would have the noodles and the chicken. But I usually try to tell you to avoid the chicken. Just do the noodles and the broth, your crackers. You can have rice, which have the toast, the oatmeal, and dry cereals like Cheerios, for example. Graham crackers along with those crackers. I failed to mention that, but you can add that too. Then the next day, you're going to do the bananas. At this point, you could try something a little bit heavier that has a meat to it, but stay away from processed foods. And if you can, any kind of heavy meats like ham, roast beef, any kind of hamburger, stay away from. And any processed foods like bologna or hot dogs. What we're talking about is more like chicken. You can maybe have turkey, and you can also have fish. And those are things that you can start introducing and slowly bring them in to your diet and the meat level. But take it easy on your belly for at least 7 to 10 days. Now, if you're seeing this is really making you feel better and giving you positive results, then by all means, make sure you practice it on a regular basis. And pay attention when you're introducing the new foods, because this is going to be the first key to tell you which one of those foods is setting your body off. That is how you can take notes and go, oh, I probably should not be eating that anymore, or stay away from it for a longer period of time before you bring it back into your life and start eating it again. It's just a way of going slow and introducing bigger, heavier foods in, but do them one at a time. Don't do 3 to 10 different foods in a single week. Do one food per week so that you can see what your body is doing with it. If it's responding well or if it's reacting totally negative, and now all of a sudden you are swelled up again, you're bloated, you're feeling miserable. If you feel it's associated with alcohol, then you know common sensely you need to just slow on your consumption and maybe do it more sparingly or just refrain from it at all. It really depends on you. That is a personal choice that you have to decide on. But I have enjoyed bringing you this information. Now I'm going to have links to the other episodes as well as the blog, and I will be typing out more information that you can read about in digestive enzymes and gut health. It will also point you to the staple foods I spoke about in a previous episode. And I will type out the BRAT Diet for you, and you can have that handy, and you'll have a means to get back to it. If you forget, just know to go to dandelionsoap.com/ where you can listen to the previous episode or this episode for the link in the description box. This is Elizabeth with Just Dandy Podcast, wishing you to have a Just Dandy day and a wonderful happy tummy. Until the next episode, be sure to follow and share this podcast with someone you feel would gain value from it and benefit from it. Until the next episode, this is Elizabeth, over and out. Bye, guys.